The Adidas Adizero SL2 and the Adidas Supernova Rise. Two new daily trainers from Adidas, but how do you choose which one is right for you? You probably clicked on this video because you're wondering which one of these two new Adidas trainers is right for you. They look very similar, but they do very different things. And the spoiler alert that I'm going to give for this video is that this isn't an either or question. This is a very much and question because these two shoes are very complementary to one another, which means you're probably going to benefit from having both of them. As always with my versus videos, let's start with the specs. Starting with the Adizero SL2, we have 36 millifoam in the heel, 27 millifoam in the forefoot, giving you a 9 mil drop. The shoe comes in at 8.4 ounces or 238 grams in the standard US men's size 9 reference size. For the Adidas Supernova Rise, we have 34 millifoam in the heel, 24 millifoam in the forefoot, giving you a 10 mil drop. The shoe weighs 9.5 ounces or 268 grams, again in the US men's size 9 reference size that everyone uses. So I will say that the Adizero SL2 feels like there's considerably more foam in the shoe, especially in the forefoot. Not just 3 more mil of foam, considerably more. You feel like you're on much more foam in the Adizero SL2. However, in the Supernova Rise, there is only 24 mil of foam in the forefoot. However, because of the technologies and the design of the midsole, both the Dreamstrike Plus foam, which is the PIBA-based foam in the midsole, and the EVA support system that's under that, it runs, again, like there's much more foam there. It doesn't feel tall, though. It's a very flexible shoe that you do feel low to the ground to, and you have a lot of good ground feel, but it's never harsh. It's a very plush ride. It's a very interesting mix of stack height with how the shoe actually feels. It's very surprising. It's one of the things I really love about the shoe. Now, with the Adizero SL2, we have Lightstrike 2.0 as most of the foam in the shoe with a core of Lightstrike Pro, which gives that shoe its performance characteristics. I'll talk more about that in the ride of the shoe. Overall, the Adizero SL2 is a very neutral cushioned ride with a very mild forefoot rocker. It has a very anchored feel in the forefoot, but there is a lot of rocker in the forefoot, which you do feel. Though because the shoe is so cushioned and flexible, it does flatten out. Where with the Supernova Rise, as I already mentioned, it uses Adidas's new Dreamstrike Plus foam, which is a PIBA foam they developed specifically for training with an EVA support rod carrier system. I'll talk more about that also in the ride of the shoe. Overall, the Supernova Rise is very plush, very flexible, and has a very slight forefoot rocker. In fact, the shoe is so flexible that it actually runs very traditional, very flat. You don't really feel that forefoot rocker at all. Quickly looking at the weights of my two pairs of these shoes, they both come in very close to spec. For the Adizero SL2, I get 234 grams in the left shoe, 235 grams in the right shoe, which is very consistent and only about 2 to 3 grams under what the actual spec is from Running Warehouse or Adidas. And in the Supernova Rise, I get 267 in the left, 265 in the right. Again, very close and very close to the spec from, again, Running Warehouse and the brand. So both these shoes are very well made. They have very good fit finish, very good materials, and the construction and the quality of these shoes is what you would expect from an Adidas running shoe. And moving to the contact patch and the outsoles of these two shoes, I was actually quite surprised here. These shoes are very, very close in specs, and they don't feel like that on foot at all. Now, in the Adizero SL2, the max width in the forefoot is 11.4 centimeters. In the waist of the shoe, it's 7.2 centimeters. And in the heel, it's 8 centimeters even. And in the Supernova Rise, we have 11.3 centimeters in the widest point of the forefoot. The waist is the same at 7.2 centimeters, and the heel is just slightly wider at 8.4 centimeters. Now, I'm going to say that the Supernova Rise feels much more stable, much more planted on the ground than the Adizero SL2. And I think a lot of that is the stack height. There is more foam, as I've already mentioned, in the Adizero SL2, but I also think it's the resiliency of the Lightstrike Pro core in the Adizero SL2. It just makes that shoe a little bit more of a handful, where the Supernova Rise is really focused around stability and comfort, and you really do feel that. And moving to the actual outsoles of these two shoes, they're actually very similar. Now, neither one of these shoes use Continental rubber, which is quintessential now to Adidas running shoes. Instead, they both use Adidas's in-house Adiwear rubber. And I'm going to say on both these shoes, the Adiwear rubber is excellent. Jumping into the fit and feel of these two shoes, let's start with the Adizero SL2. Now, the fit of this shoe is Adizero, which means it's a very lightweight upper that hugs the foot. However, it's not very conforming to the foot. This is a much better upper than the previous generation of SL, but it's still an Adizero upper, which means it isn't always the most comfortable. Though, again, I think they've made a lot of progress with a training upper in the Adizero line. It's an engineered mesh. It hugs the foot very well, good midfoot lockdown, decent volume in the toe box. This TPU toe bumper keeps the material off of the toe. As this shoe breaks in, and it will break in, your foot sinks into this foam, giving you even more room up in the toe. This is not a wide shoe. Again, it's an Adidas shoe and it's an Adizero shoe, so it's definitely not a wide fit, though a lot of people are saying this is an overly narrow shoe. I don't think it's overly narrow. Now, my foot is neither wide nor narrow, but it is high volume, and I have no problems in this shoe. I went true to size, my normal US men's size 9 that I wear in all Adidas shoes, except for the Takumi Sen 10, which I wear a 9.5. But I talked about that in the initial impressions video for the Takumi Sen, link in the description if you're interested. The ankle collar and heel counter in this shoe are very Adizero, meaning they're very much the Adizero design. So if you previously had issues with heel lift in Adizero shoes, this one is the same fundamental design. However, Adidas has added a lot more padding, and this pad here that keeps your heel locked down now is much more generous, and it wraps all the way around. There's no gap here or right on the Achilles to either pinch the Achilles or let the heel lift. Also, this shoe is very flexible, and this heel really hugs the foot. So I cannot see heel lift issues in this shoe. Even if you previously had them in Adizero shoes, I think this one's worth a try because they put some more engineering in this heel to really focus on making this heel still an Adizero fit, but more training focused. And it definitely works for me. The tongue is much more padded in this shoe, which if you've ever run in an Adizero shoe, you know the tongues are never padded. This one's pretty good. It's non-gusseted, but again, the eyelet chain in this shoe is good enough that the lockdown is really good for all types of training that you could possibly need. Moving to the Supernova Rise, this upper is about as different as you can possibly get because this is a true training upper. It's a very soft, very conforming to the foot. You put your foot into this, it wraps around your foot. It's soft, it's plush, it's comfortable. It's about as far away from the Adizero fit as you can possibly get. The heel counter and the ankle collar in this shoe are extremely padded, maybe some of the most padded shoes that I've run in this year. And the pocket that creates back here for the heel is deep. There should be absolutely no heel lift issues in this shoe. Also, the padding around here is also very plush and very deep, so protecting the ankle should also not be a problem for any type of ankle alignment in this shoe. Now, the tongue is also non-gusseted, but it's also very padded, and this very simple eyelet chain on this shoe with non-Adizero laces really holds the foot down well. I would describe the fit of this shoe as very secure in the heel, very nice in the midfoot, and very generous in the forefoot. The toe box has good volume. There's a toe bumper internally in this shoe which keeps the material off of your foot. But like the Adizero shoe, this isn't a wide fit. They do make a wide version of this, I believe, but this is not a wide shoe. However, this fits much more generous than the Adizero SL2 does. The upper gives a lot more generous fit. It will stretch more. The upper on the SL2 will not stretch, but this will stretch. And I would say there's much more generous room to wiggle your toes in here. As I said, I have a foot that's neither wide nor narrow, but it is high volume, and I find this shoe very comfortable for longer runs. But I've had absolutely no problems in this shoe as far as fit and the ability to wiggle my toes really at any point in the run. So this is a very plush, very comfortable training fit, which again is very different from the Adizero SL2. Another difference I need to point out between the fit of these two shoes is the insole situation. In the Adizero SL2, the insole in this shoe is non-removable. It means it's built into the shoe. Now, That really makes this feel like a performance shoe. It makes it feel like a race shoe, even though this is a trainer. That allows the construction of the shoe to be a little bit simpler, and it allows your foot to ride much closer to the midsole foam. So this shoe feels very cushioned, and you feel like you're running in the foam, which is really nice. However, for a trainer, a non-removable insole can be a bit of an issue, because if you need an orthotic or a custom insole to be able to run in any shoe, especially a trainer, you can't do that in this shoe. This shoe is really designed around performance and performance first, and Adidas really has made the decisions in this shoe around putting performance above everything else, and it really shows in how this feels on foot. Conversely, in the Supernova Rise, this has a very, as I said, plush fit, but it has a very good removable insole. This is one of the best removable insoles that I've seen in a lot of shoes. The heel is a little oddly shaped, but I think this speaks to just how padded the Achilles flare and the ankle collar is in the Supernova Rise, because they're putting a lot of foam in the shoe and not around the actual insole. But this is a great, comfortable insole, and if you need an orthotic or a custom insole to be able to run in a shoe, especially a trainer, you can take this out, and there's plenty of room in this shoe to accommodate even a fairly aggressive orthotic. Because again, the upper is stretchy, it's plush, there'll just be a lot more room for your foot. Though, if you have a really big orthotic or you need a really big insole, you could size up half a size in this shoe, and you're going to get more width, more volume to have even more space for that. But that is definitely an option in the Supernova Rise. It is not an option in the Adizero SL2. Moving to the ride of these shoes, I'm going to cover the ride and the midsole and the outsole because they're all together in this shoe. Now, in the Adizero SL, the ride of this shoe is, I would say, very fast, very performance oriented, and very versatile. The geometry of this shoe is actually less rocker in the forefoot than the Supernova Rise, but this shoe is actually a little bit stiffer or a little bit firmer in the foam than the Supernova Rise, so you do feel some of that toe off in here. Now, the majority of the foam in this shoe is Light Strike 2.0, which is just an EVA carrier foam. It's very durable. However, in this generation, it's very soft, very flexible, so it allows this shoe to flex. But the star of the midsole of this shoe is the slab of Light Strike Pro that goes from the heel to the forefoot. And you really do feel that. And Light Strike Pro is Adidas's premier racing foam. So you're getting the top tier racing foam in this trainer, and that really speaks to the performance of this shoe. If you're familiar with the ride of Adizero shoes, this shoe has a slightly different ride. Part of something that I feel distinguishes Adizero shoes is the way they feel on toe off. They're very snappy, they're very propulsive off the toe. And a lot of that comes from the rods in the shoe and how they kind of wrap around the toe. You'll see that in the Energy Rods 2.0. And there's a little piece of glass fiber, carbon fiber off the toe, which give you that carbon fiber pop. Now, obviously, this is a non-plated shoe, so there's no rods or carbon in this shoe. But the other signature toe-off feel of an Adizero shoe is that typically you're toeing off on Light Strike Pro foam. But the Light Strike Pro foam stops about here. So what you're actually toeing off in this shoe is Light Strike 2.0, which is just EVA foam. So that signature sort of pop off the toe of Adizero shoes is not in this shoe. But I think it actually works because this is a trainer. You're getting the benefits of Light Strike Pro from the heel to the forefoot, but the toe off is just a little bit slower. And it's what you kind of want in a trainer, especially a versatile trainer, because you don't want this to be a race shoe. You don't want it to be all over the place. You can still race in this shoe. It's not that detrimental. It just has a slightly different feel than the other Adizero shoes. But overall, this midsole and the combination of Light Strike 2.0 and Light Strike Pro foam is excellent. It's versatile. It does really well. You get the energy of Light Strike Pro, and you get the comfort and support of Light Strike 2.0. Additionally, the outsole, which I've already talked about, is extremely good on this shoe. It's very grippy. You can actually hear it tearing into the ground. That's how grippy this is. And I think for any kind of road running application, this is an excellent outsole. It actually is good on the track as well. I think this works on dirt roads, but if you're going to run any type of trail, I wouldn't use this shoe for any kind of trail running just because it's really road focused. And that makes sense because it is an Adizero road racing or road training shoe, so I would expect that from the outsole. Moving to the Supernova Rise, the feel of this midsole and the ride that this shoe has is extremely different from the Adizero SL. The midsole in this shoe uses primarily a new PEBA-based foam from Adidas called Dreamstrike Plus. It is a PEBA foam that they developed specifically for training. This is not a racing foam that was detuned for training. This is a PEBA-based foam that was developed specifically for training. So it's a little denser, it's a little bit more focused on stability and comfort, and less on energy return and resiliency. So you're not getting that sort of uncontrolled racing foam feel in a trainer, which really sets this shoe apart. Additionally, you can see this orange or yellow foam, and you can see it on the bottom much better. This is what they're calling the support rod system, which is really just an EVA foam. You hear rods with Adidas, you think glass fiber or carbon fiber. That's not what these are. This is really just an EVA carrier foam layer. However, it's designed in rods. So you're getting the benefits of running directly on the ground, or at least the outsole of PEBA foam, all the leg savingsness, all the comfort of a good PEBA foam. And this is a great PEBA foam. But you're getting a little extra support from this EVA carrier foam that really gives this shoe a little bit more than you would expect from a very soft PEBA foam. Additionally, the toe off on this shoe, because these rods all come together here, you're toeing off on PEBA-based foam, but you're also toeing off on the rods as well. So there's a little bit more stability in the toe off on this shoe, which feels really good. The other thing I will say about the ride of this shoe is that there's a lot of engineering in the design of this midsole, between the geometry of the PEBA foam and how these energy rods or support rods really work in combination. So no matter where you're striking in the shoe, heel strike, midfoot, or forefoot, you're going to get a very consistent experience and you're getting the most out of the technology. The other thing about this midsole is that it's extremely flexible. You're running on 24 millimeters of foam in the forefoot and making this a very low stack shoe. But it doesn't feel that way. This is a very, very cushioned ride, and you get a lot of flexibility in the forefoot of the shoe, so you have a lot of ground feel. But it's not in the way. If you're not used to a lot of ground feel, this shoe is a good shoe to get used to running with more ground feel, because you're getting the production and the comfort of this wonderful PEBA-based foam. Overall, the flexibility, the lower stack, and just the pure comfort of Dreamstrike Plus foam with the EVA carrier support system is excellent for really all type of easy running, and that's really what this shoe is geared for. And lastly, I do want to point out with the Supernova Rise that this does have that signature extreme lateral heel bevel that's sort of a signature across Adidas shoes. Now, this is not an Adizero shoe, which I pointed out before, but you still have this bevel. So people that are struggling with this bevel in other Adidas running or Adizero shoes, it is definitely present here. It isn't in the Adizero SL, at least not as much as this. Now, what this is really designed for is to capture the heel, because most heel strikers are landing on the outside of the heel. They're not pronating. Pronating is something the shoe's really built up on the medial side to really stop. But this is meant to capture the heel, bring you forward and center the shoe so that you're getting the most of the midfoot and the forefoot of this shoe. But I know this extreme heel bevel gives some runners problems in their knees and hips. So if that is you, definitely something to be aware of in the Supernova Rise. So which one of these two shoes is better? Well, as I said in the upfront, I actually don't think this is an either or choice. I think this is designed to be a very complementary choice by Adidas. Now, there may be a better shoe for what application you're looking to solve for by buying a trainer. But again, I do not think Adidas designed these two shoes to be an either or choice. And the primary reason I'm saying this is because JT Newcomb, the category director for Adidas running footwear, has been the person that's been speaking about both of these shoes out in the press. So if there is a single person in charge of this or directing all the teams that are involved in these, that means he's very aware and trying to steer these two projects to really work together. Now, all these videos are on Running Warehouse on their YouTube. I put links in the descriptions to these videos if you want to go check them out. I highly recommend watching these videos because you'll get a lot more background into what the design intent and what the teams are really trying to solve for both of these shoes. With the Adizero SL2, they were really trying to create a performance daily trainer that's the fast version of something that you can run in every day. Performance, fast, every day. Truly an all-around performance trainer. And that's exactly what the Adizero SL2 feels like. Where with the Supernova Rise, they made a lot of points about harmonizing comfort and support together into a dedicated platform for everyday running. The keywords there are comfort and support at the same time, not one or the other, both together in a dedicated platform. That's why they developed Dreamstrike Plus and a new PIBA-based training foam specifically for that platform, because they're trying to make a comfortable and supportive shoe for everyday running. It's a cushioned or volume trainer. These, again, are two shoes that work very well together. Another way of me explaining this is with my performance matrix. So if we take the Adizero SL2 and the Supernova Rise and we put them on this matrix, which I've used in other videos, we can begin to map the Adizero SL2 here. The red area or the orange area of this line is the real sweet spot of what this shoe does. And for me, the Adizero SL2 feels really good somewhere between easy and steady. Now, steady running is about 30 seconds per kilometer off marathon pace for me. So that's around 5 minutes per kilometer. And the shoe feels really, really nice there. However, with the Adizero SL, I can pick it up too. I can get into threshold running and I can get into max effort running, but at that point, I have other faster trainers like the Takumi Sen 10 that I'm going to use for that type of running. But in a pinch, if I need to do a workout in the Adizero SL2, I could do that. But the sweet spot of this shoe is easy to about threshold with the real core of it around steady to easy. Where with the Supernova Rise, I think the range is much more limited. The Supernova Rise is a shoe that wants to run easy. It wants to encourage you to run slow. And it does that the best, long and slow. Now, you can do threshold running and max effort running and workouts in the Supernova Rise, but I wouldn't. There's so many other shoes to pick from that can do that. There's no reason to do that in the Supernova Rise. The Supernova Rise is happiest clicking along, cruising along, doing easy running and doing long running. Because the thing about the foam in the Supernova Rise is it is extremely consistent. Not only over a lot of wear into the shoe, I have over 200 miles on my pair of Supernova Rises, and the foam has been very consistent over almost all of those miles, but also during a longer run. Now, I've done over 20K long runs in the Supernova Rise, and it would be a shoe that I would have absolutely no problem bringing to 32K or 20 miles in marathon training for that long, slow run. Because anything faster or with faster running in it, like marathon pace intervals in your long run, I'm going to do that in my race shoe anyway. So to have a dedicated, easy shoe that's consistent, that's plush, that's comfortable, that's everything the Supernova Rise is meant for and designed for. I can also do that in the Adizero SL2, but the Supernova Rise is the much better option for that, and it's much happier to do that. And that's why I'm saying these two shoes are really designed to complement each other for all of the training or all of the slower running. Because again, for threshold running and max effort running, you're going to probably use race shoes or tempo trainers for that stuff. So these two shoes work together beautifully. So there you have it. I really do think you need both of these shoes. But if you're looking for more performance and you only want one shoe, this is your performance option. If you want more plushness, more cushion, a shoe for dedicated easy running because you have faster shoes, this is the better option. This can do that. This will do it better. So you really can't go wrong with either one of these shoes depending on the purpose you're looking for. And if you pair these together with a fast race shoe, you will have everything covered. After so many years of Adidas not really having a good trainer, especially a daily trainer, now they have two of the best, probably the best performance trainer on the market and probably the best volume or cushion trainer on the market. These two shoes are excellent, and it's really amazing to see Adidas really paying a lot of attention to the trainer space. Thank you for making it to the end of the video. If you find this content useful, consider subscribing. You'll see more content from me pop up in your feed. If not, drop a like on this video because it helps this channel continue to grow, which I always appreciate. And with that, I'll catch you in the next one.